Hello my lovelies, welcome to my channel, welcome back to my channel if you are already a subscriber. I love you and appreciate you so much. If you aren't subscribed, then what are you waiting for? Get subscribed because you will get updated with all of my wonderful videos that are coming out twice a week at the moment. So today's video is going to be all about how to start journaling, because this is a question that I often get asked. You know, how do I even get started? I don't know what to do. It's so overwhelming. What do I even write about? So I thought I would just create a really quick video around the 5 kind of tips on how to get started with journaling. Okay, so you're going to start by getting a journal and some pens, or, you know, a pen. You don't have to have more than one. These are some Lammies that I've got here. So these are actually fountain pens. I've got 2. This one's got like a purpley ink in and this one's got a black ink. So you've got journals, you've got pens, sorry, and then you've got journals. This is just a selection of some of my different journals that I've used over time. Actually, this one I haven't used yet. But as you can see from this one is completely full. This is from 2020. This was actually my lockdown journal. My first lockdown journal. So I'm actually looking forward to reading this back. I don't often read back my journals, but I'm actually going to look back through this one because, you know, we lived through a pandemic, so it's going to be quite interesting to look at. So yeah, this is Dingbats. This is one from Port West, which I think is also finished. Yeah, well, this one's got a bit of artsy stuff in it as well. So yeah, and then this one, like I said, I haven't started this one yet. This is from Love and Do. So I'll tag all of these in the description. So a journal and a pen obviously is your first starting point. So that's actually tip 1 and tip 2 combined, is a journal and a pen. So grab a notebook / journal, whichever you want to call it. Notebook and journal, same kind of thing. You can do whatever you want, whether you want it to be lined, blank, dot grid, bullet, whatever suits you. Keep it simple. Just grab a notebook and grab a biro pen if that's what works for you. If you want an excuse to go out and buy some new stationery, here is your reason. So tip number 3 is to just write about yourself. So this is the point that everyone seems to get stuck at, is they don't know what they want to write, and they don't know how to write. So you can write whatever comes to mind. Now, if this is a block for you and you really struggle to write what comes to mind because nothing comes to mind, then I often like to start with, how am I feeling today? So that is the prompt that I often start with, how am I feeling today? And then you go from there and you just see what comes out. And often the floodgates will open and you will end up just kind of discovering and exploring lots of different things about how you're feeling. So just allow yourself to be open and honest on the page. That's the only one rule when it comes to journaling. You can journal in whatever way suits you, but you have to be open and honest, because that's where you're going to get the most impact, the most effect, and where the power of writing things down is really going to come through. And tip number 4 is to really allow yourself to use journaling for self-discovery. So don't be scared about what you're going to discover, because this is where growth is going to happen. This is where you're going to start realizing things about yourself that maybe you didn't know. And that's why I think sometimes people shy away from journaling, is because when things are written down, that's when it's real, you know, it's in black and white in front of you. So a lot of people shy away because I think they're scared to face what's going to come to the page. And now I want to encourage you to work through that fear and allow yourself to just offload onto the page. And now, if you don't want to read it back, you don't have to read it back. If you want to burn it, if you want to write it down, you know, tear it out, shred it, burn it, do whatever, you know, get rid of it, that's absolutely fine. But the key here, and the most important part, is actually getting pen to paper and writing things down. So tip number 4 is really about using your journal as a place for self-discovery and to learn more about yourself so that you can let growth happen. And I also want to add there as well, it's allowing you to move through things. It's allowing you to move forwards and process maybe some things that haven't been processed and that have been kind of clinging onto you and maybe preventing you from moving forwards and from getting to where you want to be. So use it as a place for self-discovery. And then my 5th and final, did 2 hands in. My 5th and final tip is journal in a way that works for you. Now, I think we often get caught up in the rules and regulations of the internet that make you think that you should be journaling in a certain way. You know, there are people out there that are sharing beautiful bullet journal spreads and, you know, creative spreads, which are, you know, I share creative spreads as well. But you need to journal in a way that works for you, that invites you, and that makes you want to journal. And if that's free writing, fantastic. If that's using prompts, fantastic. If that's doodling, you know, you doing creative spreads, painting, drawing, I mean, there's so many different things, collaging. There are so many different ways to journal, and I want to encourage you to not put yourself in a box and allow yourself to do what works for you. If that is, you know, writing in random words rather than sentences, because that's what feels right, then do it. If it's poetry, if it's writing songs, if it's, you know, just exploring words on the page, that's what works for you. Allow yourself to do it. Do not put yourself in a box, and do not compare what you're doing to someone else on the internet, because that's where, you know, you get analysis paralysis, because you want your journal to look a certain way when actually it's unique to you, and it's your place, it's your solace, it's your safe space for where you can journal in a way that suits you and that works for you. So a really quick rundown of the 5 tips. Get yourself a notebook or journal, get yourself a pen, write about yourself, use prompts if you need to. Start with, how am I feeling today? Number 4 is to use your journal as a place for growth and self-discovery, and for processing things that maybe are taking up space in your mind. And tip number 5 is to do what works for you. Allow yourself that freedom to create a journal that's your safe space and that, you know, works for the way that you work, and just have fun with it. And that, my loves, is my 5 tips for how to start journaling. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. If you want to share anything else, drop them in the comments below. If you have not yet liked and subscribed, I'd really encourage you to do so. And I will see you again very soon.